I'm Brian, better known as Scotty, on WBYC 107.3 FM, Chrisfield Community Radio, Chrisfield, Maryland. And if you listen to that station, you'll recognize Marcus, and he has some poetry every day on that station. He's a widely published author of 11 books. 2 of his books that are published by the prestigious PM Press are here tonight for sale. Stop by the desk and see Betty. He's the founder of the Soul Kitchen, a free community meals program located both in Hazleton, Pennsylvania and Baltimore, Maryland. Over the past 13 years, the Soul Kitchen has provided and served over 10,000 meals to the needy. They also distribute clothing, diapers, Pedialyte, and love. Let's have a warm Chrisfield welcome for Mr. Marcus Colasurdo.
Good to see you all here at the Corbin Cafe. I'm Marcus. Pleasure to be here, and this is being taped for WBYC, I believe, Radio Chrisfield, and Bruce and Carol. Thank you, all of y'all. Places of art are houses of wisdom, and to enter the house of wisdom, the ego must be left outside. True nakedness allows for the deepest of cleansing. The shedding of artifice opens the heart to a greater beauty, more finely stitched, more heavenly woven. Many have come through these doors before you, many will come after. Once inside, reject none, for when you walk back outside, your earthly clothing will be exactly where you left it. The blessing, however, is that it may no longer fit you. Being a person from off points in Pennsylvania, Los Angeles for a long time, and Baltimore, and discovering this town, there's some magic in this place. And this, before I do this poem about the Chesapeake Bay, I just wanted to say that in a Hindu holy book, one of their great holy books, I think, compares with the New Testament, is called the Upanishads, which means literally in Hindi, that which was heard by those who sat close. And I'm really glad you all are so close in this Christmas season. This is called Crossing the Chesapeake. Beneath the concrete, 1,000 feet from our automobiles' wheels, the water here teaches another kind of motion. The afternoon light of the sun's dappled dance sketches something ancient on the bay's blue field, something truer than the map makers even know. Astonishing, this place called Chesapeake. This unpredictable, fertile liquid coil that, if stretched end to end, would flow from sea to shining sea, all the way to San Francisco Bay, 6 times over and back here to Chesapeake. Today, the bay inscribes a tough elegance to me, like the place where the Creator receives us all to be baptized, being Chesapeake. Neck and gut, oyster and crab, heron and egret, shell and stone, claw and meat, Chesapeake. Today, I'm crossing you by car. Your calloused hand wonder bridge astonishes me, and I witness a perfection in the minutes of your hours, spilling out like an osprey on a magical day, Chesapeake. And in this exact instant, I dream of what it must have felt like to roam here free 1,000 years ago, bark and body and paddle tree, briny step of stone, generous leap of countless fish. I dream of you in a time where yesterday, today, and tomorrow are all notes of a single song, the one called Chesapeake. Sing me a song of the water, brothers. Sing me a song of the dawn, sisters. Sing it soft and slow. Sing it long and strong. Give voice to either or both, in bounty or close. It is for the children in all of us to listen, because Chesapeake will never forget to sing. this poem has references to snow in it, so please forgive me if I'm But it is December, and I was thinking, well, maybe, right? It's a strange and crazy time in this world, which you could probably say at any moment of our existence. Like, I don't remember a day in my life without war. But not to go there, I do want to offer a prayer. This is called winter prayer. Lord, how perfect this day your day. How startling all this air turned cold, allowing me to see with my soul, not simply with my eyes. Giving me back my memory, strengthening my strides, learning again the hymns of the northbound wind. Lord, how perfect this day your day, how heavy the hang of these clouds, how fine the feathers of the falling snow, each flake a different letter in an endless alphabet woven above where the magnificent is merely the beginning of innocence. Lord, how perfect this day your day. How splendid the bejeweled ice that coats iron and wood and rock and winks these diamonds into the sun. How true the slip and slide of laughter. How solid the silver that freezes deep your creeks, that even a child may walk now on water. Lord, how perfect this day your day. The salt of the heavens have covered the earth, and before me, as far as my vision can reach, the roads of this world lay out white and immaculate. Oh Lord, today I will choose carefully where I leave my footprints. Thank you. Can you turn that music off, possibly? Thank you. I mean, Bruce's station is fabulous, but we can give it a half an hour. Thank you, Karen. And I want to thank Karen and Brian for doing such an amazing job in creating this ambiance in the first ever. The initial, the introduction to Chris Field of the Corbin Cafe. Brian had mentioned earlier that I'm a founder of the Soul Kitchens in Baltimore and in Hazelton, Pennsylvania. And the one in Baltimore is in its 13th year, and the one in Hazelton in its 11th. And we managed somehow to help needy people in all ways. Food primarily, but also diapers, warm winter clothing, scarves, socks, stuff, that folks need. And pretty much all done by volunteers, and there's a lot of good people. So once upon a time, I was homeless in San Francisco, and I was starving. I was broke, and I hadn't eaten in 2 days, and somebody said, we're all like 9 missed meals away from murder. You start hallucinating. Things start looking like hamburgers to you that are actually not. It's like a nightmare. I thought, if I got into Glide Memorial Church for a free lunch. And I said to myself, if I ever get on my feet again, I'm going to do this for other people, what they've just done for me. And lastly, the people I met on the street who were broke were the most generous people that I've ever encountered in my life. They had very little, and they give you half of it. So poor people get a bad rap, right? This is America. If you don't have money, you don't count, or whatever that thing is. But sometimes all people need is a small abundance. Is most often enough. A set of shells, semi-stocked, pasta, tuna, soup, rice, corn, beans, or that throbbing white electric giant, that Arctic high rectangle that protects milk and butter, cheese and eggs, refrigerator. A small abundance is almost enough. For I've known long, hungry nights in childhood, belly growls when the larder side is empty, apologies, and the freezer opened onto a vacant boneyard. So know this, if I am asked to sacrifice, I will share. If I am asked to fast, I will definitely feast. If I am pushed toward less, I begin to grow. Let us be clear. Abundance is the song of this earth, and just a few notes is all I need most often. Thank you. This is an astonishing place to me, and I don't mean to amp the experiences I've had in Chrisfield. Is just such, it's a place our soul can breathe, and the amazing wildlife around us, and the fact that we are between ocean and bay reminds me of something really nice. So sometimes you got to stop and accept the blessings of the day. To stop and accept the blessings of the day is a form of wisdom. Let earth touch heaven as often as it might for you. For however unexpected, something of the golden thread sits serene quite nearby. To stop and accept the blessings of the day is a form of survival. In the chain clamor of voices and choices and noise, something of the silken ladder beckons to your secret name. Survival of the fittest is one thing. Survival of the wise is something else entirely. You don't have to apply if you don't want to. It's okay. If you want to apply wildly, that's okay, too. I'm going to do a section here about women and children, and then take a short break to refill your cups of kindness. This one's called Chromosomes. And this is for all the men out there. The truth belongs to no one, therefore it belongs to all of us. The imagination is its angels. Drop your weapons. Stop your engines already, gentlemen. No man has ever given birth to a child. Let yourself be witness. Let your anger pick a single rose. No man bleeds with the moon from the place of his sex. My advice to you, go down to the sea, cup your hands around your junk, and scrutinize the tides. Well, yeah.
Yeah, she is.
Yeah. I did a couple books with a friend of mine, a great French photographer, Olivier Girard. So some of these images you can see from our book Maps on the monitor there. And if you could ignore her hair, which doesn't actually, it's not actually that berserk, but look at her face and she's troubled, isn't she? I'm just a little girl. You probably have a million names for me, but perhaps you should call me Coyote or Queen Anne's Lace. Call me wide-eyed pupil of the sparrow. Call me when you're afraid for me and think that my next step will lead to quicksand. Call me when you're ready to begin again. You think you know me? Seat on egg, I understand, but what comes next defies command. It's like love. It's like ice skates. They go together, you know. This poem's called Women of a Certain Age, and you know who you are. Women of a certain age possess inscrutable eyes. It appears almost nothing will take them by surprise. Women of a certain age can well hide their scars. They can cloak the light of Venus. They can turn their back on Mars. Women of a certain age know the climb of child through time. They've done their giving out, not up, and sing a softer refrain. Women of a certain age have learned their lessons well. They tend the seeds of heaven. They boil water on the fires of hell. Women of a certain age still curve that hips and breasts. It takes a man what I have said deep to know how much he's blessed. Women of a certain age have earned each drop of strength. They know the seasons of the moon. They need not count their length. And when women of a certain age grow restless as the wind, I recommend you pay attention. Something's about to begin. an apartment in Paris. Olivier took this picture of some of his relatives. And look at the look on the daughter's face to the mother. Amazing to me. He's a wonderful photographer. So this poem is coupled with that photograph in that book, Maps, I was talking about. How simple the truth profound in the gaze of daughter upon mother. I know you feel you know how much is contained in this primal optical chalice, here where the gifts are given that as yet have no names, where the letters of the alphabet are hidden behind these kitchen walls, awaiting their emergence come a handful of decades away. I know you feel you know the loaded roll of the genetic dice, landed on sevens, come heavenly 11s, verified in the color of eyes, sculpted in the shape of the nose, painted upon the tails as painted upon the toes as they learn to walk. I know you know that the leaf does not fall far from the tree, yet must nonetheless accept the journey that the wind offers it. Daughter grows into mother. Mother ages into daughter, and between the two, the law of return is one not written in stone, but in blood. Yeah, this is another photograph from France, nursing home. I've looked at her closely a lot, and well, let me just read it. To the ones for whom youth has not yet abandoned, allow me to ask a couple questions. When you gaze upon this face, do you first see age, or do you see memory? Within these furrows enfolded, do you see the one who danced with the same vigor as you, who loved with the same fervor as you, the one who dreamed of her life to come upon the wind-blown heights that long ago summer night? To those whose youth is belted to the acceleration of artifice, to those who have already forgotten how to remember, allow me to please just ask one question. Pull up a chair here and lean in close. There may be time for you still to talk to her. Thank you. So, full circle, women and children and, of course, babies. This is called Baby's First Smile, and then I'll take a quick break so you can get more wine. Because trust me, the more wine, the better I get, the more wine. When baby first smiles, all bets are off. The whole world changes, and instantly one grin, with one delighted curve of lips, with one brand new wordless, toothless smile, the universe comes fresh again. When baby's first smiles, no one can resist. It mugs thugs and swoons goons. It makes everybody want to sign up for grandpa and grandma's sweet sitter duties. When baby first smiles, everybody wants a photo. The quilt of the generations is dusted off, and new stitches are carefully added by all those hands. Some of them are wrinkled, some of them are smooth, all of them are joyous. When baby first smiles, even the television shuts up. Even the politicians wash their mouths out with soap. Even those traveling evangelists trip over their own shoelaces at your front door. When baby first smiles, the circle that forms around that one funny, fabulous face is all human beings really need to remember about themselves. Some things, I gotta tell you, are perfect. Some things are nothing but blessings, no additives needed, no small print, no questions asked. And from the mouth of a child, 100 years gone weary makes sense again, makes joy again. Because when baby first smiles, you know it won't be long before first words. No need to hold your breath, but you must listen carefully, because this might be, this could be, this just might be the child we've all been waiting for. Thank you. Thank you. We're gonna take a short break. I'll be back to finish the set if you wanna replenish your wine or whatever,
Or chili.
or chili.
Or cookies. Or cookies. Or candy.
That was my call to order.
Right. That was pretty good.
Yeah.
That was excellent.
Wait a minute, intermission.
Have that tape next time. Put that on tape.
Yep, that is.
That was Scotty. Come on, right?
You ready to roll?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, turkey chill's pretty good.
Yeah.
And that's Miss Betty. So to finish this show, I'm gonna do a couple of poems. So I would be remiss if I didn't do something that I just want to ask some question in this short poem as we continue to insist on killing each other on this earth. And I'm wondering, what difference between religions in the eyes of God? Only man can think of unlinking what is married by the sacred, and even that ferocity is doubly false. What difference between the star and the cross and the crescent when children weep unfed, kept from the wheat that was meant for their nourishment? Yeah, no. But this is a poem about strangers becoming friends, how that happens when a stranger approaches you. And this is something I put up in the laundromat on Main Street down here, like 3 years ago, and it's still hanging on the bulletin board. I'm guessing somebody's read this. This is an image shot by Olivier Giraud, who works in Niger primarily with refugees in Africa through Lutheran World Relief, a great organization. I saw this face and I thought, if I come to you in friendship, will you recognize me? If I come to you nameless, what will you call me? If I come to you from long journey, will you hear of my history? If I come to you from the heat, will your touch be cold? If I come to you in a dream, will you remember upon awakening? If I come to you in trust, will you understand my gift? If I come to you in faith, will you see yourself in me? If I come to you with an open heart, what then will you fill it with? This place is such an abundant place, and one of the things that Betty and I have been doing up in Cash Corner for a number of years is growing vegetables and herbs, and things perform magnificently, especially the green things. We had a bumper crop of pole beans this summer, so I wrote this poem called Ode to Pole Beans. Tall green snakes, tactile like huge old shoelaces, bumped and ridged, vined high in the brown old July stakes. And all at once, early this morning, they're ready to pick. Just like that first gymnasium dance when smile met smile and snap. Inside, tough skin, juicy light green kidney-shaped beans snap once, twice, and thrice again snap. A whole colander's worth of secrets port shared. A slippery feast of women who know men who know maybe this is how July is meant to be. Out here in the country where some of the roads are made of oyster shells and others of corn tassels, Out here, the heat stretches across these raised beds and rich compost, painting these long leaves in slow motion as they start to drop in the sun, turning from bottom up, making a mosaic of wood and twine string, giving that old new call to dirty fingernails and human hope, working the song that every one of us finds a descendant of some field, somewhere, somehow, some country, some place. These pole beans grow like that melody of memory and mama, of nutrient and harvest, of that awaited whisper one moment before noon. Come and get us. Our snap between your thumb and forefinger will get no crisper than it is right now this morning. Snap, come and get us. It's time for picking. I'm going to finish this reading with some poems about animals and birds. I don't know if anybody in here has cats or a cat or interesting creatures. So this poem's called Cat. Circle of striped fur, half asleep. Saffron slit of eyes, ancient sluts, mysteriously aware. Sharp of claw, curious paws, motorcycle purr. Tongue of desert floor, night detective of whiskered information. Four-legged book lover stretched across your pages. Clean in dream, serene in wooden chair or rainy day window. Balance superior to merchant or athlete. My prediction, she will outlive the automobile. Thank you. Well, once upon a time, the western plains of this country were thick with buffalo. Part of the government's idea of wiping out the Plains Indian tribes killed their food source. Very simple. So between 1868 and 1881, 31 million buffalo were slaughtered by trophy hunters and cavalry people, thereby driving the Indians from the Sioux to the Arapaho to Cheyenne into semi-starvation. There is right now intertribal Buffalo Council, where there's about 20 different Indian tribes who are slowly replenishing buffalo in their native lands. And so I guess we're up to, I think there's about 15,000 buffalo left in America, but there are people who are working really hard and have been for a long time to keep this magnificent animal alive and not go extinct. So think of a buffalo talking to you. Once I belonged to the thunder. My kind were as plentiful as the clouds, nearly as many as the trees themselves. Once when the sea froze itself into land, I walked a long expanse across its crystals from Asia, and warmth followed me. Once I gave abundance to these red men. Their teepees are strong. They honored me in prayers of gratitude for my wildness and for their children. Their shaman wore my fur. Once this high stretch of plains was my home. For uncounted years, the tall grass and the rush of rivers were life itself, and the four directions knew my name. Now, these men wear badges and count my numbers few. They place my shadow on signs beside their roads. I have lived here for 5 million years. Now it seems I am a curiosity, an antique image frozen on a fading postcard, a footnote in a book of history written, it seems, by thieves. Now the two-legged prayers do not include me. They do not ask for forgiveness. My roaming of this land is cut by concrete and a strange language. Now it seems I'm the memory of the slaughter. So now I will sleep with one eye open, for there have been times when I have mistaken the lightning for something else entirely. And if my stride is slower now, it is because I'm watching your haste. Because? So there's a lot of people asking for money at Christmas time. One of the organizations that's really interesting is Heifer International, who hooks up folks in villages, mostly in drought-stricken countries over the last 2 decades, but in other places that are hit hard by floods, etc., with animals that have been integral to their existence. This is a project that got goats, the people in northern Mali in Africa, to revive families and economy and keep people alive. Because these animals came to me like a moving dream, because these four-legged ones have joined my family, because when the rain refused the earth's dry cries, the two-legged ones, my people, chose together and not alone. Because these goats guard my resurrection. Because the medicine of the many is stronger than the despair of the one. Because my children's eyes look like stones. Because my husband cannot walk. Because these goats now smell like milk. Because people I have never seen heard our breathing in the hills. Because the depth of their heart matched the well of our wills. Because these animals already know their names, and because of it, I have now remembered how to smile again. It is. I would be remiss if I didn't read a poem about birds. So this is a goofy poem, so bear with me, because we have a good friend, Jane Conley, who's a writer herself, who's also a birder, and she comes to our place often, as Carol did the other day, and spots all kinds of birds. You spotted eagles.
She brought eagles.
This is called Rhyming Ornithology, and I hope you like it. Some people like their whiskey, eat beef from cattle by the herd, but I'm here tonight to talk to you about God's winged creatures, birds. Look, there's 2 eagles in my pine stand, and since you're here, Karen, down at Johnson Creek there dwells a great blue heron. There's a crimson cardinal, looks like a Christmas ribbon. There's a bunch of screeching seagulls, they're just trying to make a living. There's blue jay boys, and they're making noise. There's a Carolina wren and a partridge hen. There's a wake of buzzards and a murder of crows. And there's a little chickadee munching seed at my toes. It's a cinch there's a house finch and a sparrow in the narrows. There's a big old kingfisher over there just sitting like a pharaoh. There's nothing quicker than a northern flicker and a starling on the go. A couple of egrets fishing mud, somehow white as brand new snow. There's a red-tailed hawk gliding a mile up on the breeze, spotting a field mouse lunch at the bottom of the trees. There's a gaggle of geese in intelligent migration. I heard them the other night over Marion Station. So if you ever get tired of that old rat race and you're looking for birds, well, Chrisfield's the place. A couple more, and I know some of you have experienced being way out west. You get west of Mississippi, America just kind of opens up. Astonishing, just astonishing beauty in this country. So I got a couple poems about national parks, which Wallace Stegner said was America's best idea. And when you visit some of these places in Montana, Wyoming, Colorado, you begin to see, yeah, man was right about that. This is a poem about the Grand Tetons. And it's been playing, it was played today on your station, which I appreciate. So think of a mountain. This poem is delivered by a mountain and not me. I am who you think I am, but it's not for you to name me. Since before your time was assigned the clock, I have grown from a child of the hemisphere's crucible to become the parent of these powerful clouds. I am the blizzard keeper. The snow upon my shoulders has shined in the light of 9 million years of sunrises and will not abandon me and keeps me warm. I am who you think I am. Who are you? Glacier National Park in Montana. I don't know if any of you have seen, the stars at Chrisfield are pretty impressive at night without all that light pollution from the cities, but in Montana, the constellations are like too plentiful to count. You begin to realize certain kinds of things, but even if it's only once in the lives of every man and woman, there comes a time to sleep open upon this earth, to dream under a canopy of these stars so vast and plentiful, draped by the rugged shoulders of these old mountains. Way out here, the western skies of this nation will, I swear in quiet prayer, make us all children again. Way out here, where one whisper of majesty enfolds us whole, humble and liberty-bound in accord of the knowing that we belong to these stars and these mountains, and that they have always been right here waiting for us to arrive, to begin again, to return to this place that we call Montana. Thank you. I want to thank you all for coming. I'm going to close with another prayer. And I really appreciate this spot. I really appreciate the work Karen and Brian and Miss Betty has done. And thank you guys a lot. As the enchanted light of the moon is but a reflection of the sun's fire, Lord, let me walk through this life as a mirror of your purpose in creation. Let me know your handiwork and all that surrounds me. Let me nurture your seed with patience and faith. Let me know humility while striving for excellence. Let me know your bounty by sharing it with others. Let me seek no dominion over any living soul. Let me hear the one who whispers my name. Let me add my beauty to the turning of this world. Let me possess nothing that is not given freely to me. Let me learn myself if I may teach others. Let me find the love that awaits my passage. Let me envy none in the peace of my soul. Let me drink the wonder of the wheel of your seasons. Let me harm no one and walk through this world unharmed. Let my heart be serene through turmoil and storm. Let my mind grow kind toward the splendor of your mystery. Let me embrace the gifts of the mercy that I receive. Let me give unquestioning to those who are wounded. Let my blood be witness to the change that is righteous. Let me kiss the earth with honesty on my lips. Lord, let me find the words that approach my prayer. As the enchanted light of the moon is but a reflection of the sun's fire, Lord, let me live my life as a mirror now restored. Thank you, guys.